What's up, guys? Today we're talking about a ton of different Xbox-related topics, and even, look, damage controlling a potential tiered service from PlayStation Now, or a Game Pass competitor, rather. Demos. You're capping for demos, man. Stop capping for demos. Imagine if you didn't cap for demos. Anyway, today we got a lot of interesting topics. New games for Xbox. Also, the head of all gaming at Microsoft, Phil Spencer, talking about Game Pass, shutting down the critics, leveling out some of the fear-mongering, and of course, exclusivity. Microsoft potentially have 100 new products for Xbox fans, and much more in today's video. What's happening, guys? Dealer here, back again with yet another video, and I pulled myself away from Elden Ring long enough to make this video for you. Obviously, we're covering all the latest Xbox news and information. We've actually got some really cool topics that a lot of people missed, and obviously a lot of you guys wanted to hear my take on some of this stuff. So, if you end up liking this video, maybe hit the like button, consider subscribing, all that good stuff. Let's get into the first topic. Hey, real quick, I had to mention this. I got a few messages about Twitch and Xbox partnering up to bring Twitch streaming back to the platform easier than ever. Apparently, it's some kind of partnership where they have realized their mistakes with Mixer. Remember Mixer? I almost don't as well. Well, think of it kind of like that. Now with their full focus on Twitch, they've reintegrated it with the guide, and it is now easier than ever, apparently. It's re-engineered, the works. I'll link it down below. Love seeing little updates like this, but now we need to see the ability to stream to YouTube from the Xbox, and apparently that's on Google's end, not Microsoft's. But yeah, just wanted to throw this in here for those that didn't know. You may already have this update, or check your system settings to try to download this update now. Look, can we all agree here that video games are pretty awesome, right? This is the best hobby in the world. I say it all the time. Well, if you found yourself saying yes to that, then, well, this next topic is probably for you. Bethesda submits over 100 new products to the Microsoft Store, says database leaker. Now, I'd be a crackhead if I didn't cover this. This is way too interesting not to cover, especially when you consider the fact that Bethesda's launcher on PC just went under. RIP, it's done. Odd timing for over 100 products to be hitting the Microsoft Store. Now, no one's saying these are all games or anything of that sort, but there could be information in this leak that does reveal some new games products for gamers. Now, the article does say that the leaker clarifies that new products includes games, DLC, and bundles. This means that it's likely that a large number of these products are add-ons, and they are also potentially repackaged games. If you guys remember, we heard about a Wolfenstein Enhanced collection for the Xbox Series S and X. Things like that haven't been enhanced yet could be potentially on the way, and this leak could be the first sign of that. Either way, Game of the Year editions, stuff like that, any re-release that Microsoft does, just like Skyrim, hopefully these games have the X and S badge on them. Wolfenstein 2, for instance, is the best game of 2017 in my opinion, and I would love to see this game looking even better, running even better with a 120 frames mode. Nothing wrong with free upgrades, something that other companies struggle with, by the way. But yeah, I believe this leak to be legitimate in some way. I think you will see some of these products trickle down, and I'd like to know your thoughts on this as we move into our next topic. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, well, all of Microsoft Gaming, is pissed. No, he's not actually pissed, but he is downplaying fears of a substantial Game Pass price hike. I get so many questions every month about Game Pass and when there will be a price hike, because they can't possibly support all of this third-party content and their own first-party content without passing that cost off to you, right? Well, it's not that simple. In fact, they can support this kind of growth in their catalog as long as their subscriber count keeps growing. Therefore, they keep bringing in more money, etc. But Phil Spencer does have the following to say on this issue. Craptaku.com, head of Xbox, downplays fears of Game Pass price hike. Phil Spencer talks Game Pass plans and exclusivity in recent interview. Kotaku says Game Pass has never been more popular, especially after Microsoft announced plans to buy Activision Blizzard and add some of those titles into the service. Kotaku does say it seems all but inevitable that it will put the squeeze on consumers just like Netflix, Amazon, and others have. Phil Spencer has the following to say. I feel like I can't prove this negative. Boom, mic drop. That's all he needed to say. Look, he just said, look, you are fear-mongering. You can't prove this. You don't know. This is a what if. We see these tactics here and there in the media as well as politics, unfortunately. And you know what? That's all you needed to say. You can't prove it. It's unfounded. As of right now, you're bringing up negative things with no inclination as to why you're doing so. But, hey, there was more. He says, people ask, when is Game Pass's pricing going to go up? They're buying all these studios, it's inevitable. Even though it's been, 4 years? We haven't raised it? But it's like, it's coming. When they're number one, they're going to start doing all of these exclusive deals. Like, Xbox has history. All I can do is make the decisions that are in front of us and try to be as explicit as possible about what our goals are. When it comes to platform exclusivity, Phil Spencer said the following. Well, that specific question of, hey, there's only one place I want to play games. And if a game doesn't end up in the one place that I want to play, and it has its own business requirements for me as a creator, those people can go play those games. They're just going to say, I'm choosing not to, because it's not on the one device they care to own. So I get that. That's a very strong quote from Phil. If you know how he words things, how he does things, that's a very straightforward quote. That's him saying, hey, people will tell themselves they have a reason not to play these games, but ultimately, unless you just don't want to own a product that is capable of running a Game Pass app or running it natively, you are basically giving yourself an excuse and a reason to complain about not being able to play a game, but ultimately it's your own fault. Like he said, you will say these things because it's on a device you don't care to own. But he gets that, right? And when it comes to Game Pass and the price hike and suing, the one that doesn't exist yet, he's saying, hey, it doesn't exist yet. We've not done anything like that in 4 years, and until we do, why am I answering these types of questions? Ultimately, unless their subscriber count stagnates for Game Pass, which has shown no signs of being close to happening, they don't need to raise the prices of their service. They can continue to invest in their own catalog while also making a profit, all while growing at the same time, as long as they're growing at the same time. A lot to unpack there. I feel like a lot of what Phil says is common sense, and when he's approached by basically what is a fearmonger article saying, what if you raise your prices? It's inevitable that you raise your prices, blah, blah, blah. Well, where are those articles about PlayStation Now? I've not seen any articles like that about PlayStation Now. I've not seen any articles asking the question, where are those price hikes for PlayStation Now, or how expensive will Spartacus be, in any kind of fear-mongering manner. As far as Spartacus goes, it is probably going to be more expensive than PlayStation Now. But one of the biggest things that we had talked about on my podcast, here on the YouTube channel every single Tuesday, check it out if you haven't, is the fact that Spartacus will have multiple tiers, right? Game Pass right now has 2 tiers, but one includes Xbox Live. Spartacus is looking to maybe do the same, but with their top tier including either day-and-date games or, apparently, trials. Yes. No, not the game. Demos. Demos of games. Now, some people have decided to, as I mentioned, damage control this. Trials. Imagine getting a 10 to 12 hour trial of Horizon Forbidden Dawn when it launches. That is, if, of course, you are subscribed to the highest tier of PlayStation Spartacus or Junior Game Pass Delight, whatever they want to call it. Now, here's the best part of this tweet. People will be upset that it's not the full game, but there's no doubt that a lot of people would sub. Yeah, they would sub to try it, and will result in more sales. Look, if it were me in this gentleman's place, this isn't exactly what I would say. I would say, you're charging for demos? That's what I would say. Because ultimately, that's what they're doing. If this is true, that's what they're doing. And I don't think that PlayStation needs to listen to a lot of the radical fans out there. They need to listen to their competition. And their competition says, you need to provide more value, you need to provide cross-play, cross-buy, cross-save, and you need to do it all at the same price while adding day and date to your service. You need all of these things because ultimately, no matter what these radicals say, you need to compete. Not for your own sake, not because you aren't selling tens of millions of PS5s a year, but for the consumer's sake. And it's only a matter of time before goodwill runs out. People see the light, they understand the value difference, and they're seeing that, hey, I can get MLB The Show day and date on Game Pass for no additional cost, or I could go pay $70 on the PS5. This is going to matter to a lot of people. Ultimately, I think it's time for some of the Sony fans out there to start pushing this narrative before it is too late, because as usual, Sony are 1 to 2 years behind. Maybe, just maybe, you can speed it up if you are honest about some of the stuff. As far as performance between the two boxes, there is some new stuff coming out about some performance scaling, some boosting. I will get into that. Right now, I'm just a little frustrated as to why the console is even underperforming at all. I know most all of it is due to Microsoft notoriously switched their basically their whole SDK around right before launch, and developers are still learning this on top of so many features that just aren't being used. And it's no excuse right now, because ultimately what I'm about to say is just true. These things should be being used, and they're not. That's Microsoft's fault. And it makes everybody that knows how math works and how much performance is really in the Series X frustrated. Everyone knows it's more powerful hardware. I want to start seeing it in more games. But yeah, I want to know your thoughts on all of these topics, guys, as well as the performance of these consoles. While pretty fantastic, there is just so much more on the table, and there is no reason games like Elden Ring should be dropping a single frame on any platform. And that's part of what I'm talking about. Developers optimizing, doing what they should be doing. Not everybody's using VRR, and those of us running through a capture card really can't. You probably noticed it in the footage here. This screen tearing, it'll rip your face in half if you look at it too long. But hey, again, let me know your thoughts on the video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Become a patron today, and of course, a channel member. Thank you so much for what you do. I'm Dealer, and I will see you in the next one.